as a people overall, we get the government we deserve. We had an election yesterday in Jacksonville, Florida. We had a Republican mayor in Jacksonville, Florida. Did you know that? It's in Duval County, a county Ron DeSantis won. Did you know we lost that election? Now, it's a D+4 county. I don't want to act like it's blood red, but we lost that election yesterday. If you look at the turnout, it's pitiful. And I know it's not a sexy election, right? It's not for senator. It's not Trump or DeSantis. We don't see them on Fox News. Nobody's name is in lights. Why don't we care enough to show up on critical local elections? You know what determined your quality of life during COVID when this country lost its mind? It wasn't the federal government. It was the state you lived in. I live in Texas. My kids lived a radically different life for 2 years than the people in New York lived. I went and visited New York several times for work. It was like I went to a different planet. Local is what we need. And we can't bring ourselves to care enough to show up. We don't show up for primaries. When we do show up for primaries, we vote for the same loser rhino that's in there. We don't show up for local elections. You try to get someone out for a city council or school board race. They scoff and blow it off. And sorry, I'm watching the game. I don't want to hear about your MAGA bumper sticker or your Ron DeSantis t-shirt if you don't care enough to show up for local elections. Blocking and tackling is how we will take back this nation. We will not take back this nation from Washington, D.C. We will start local, take back our communities, and expand from there. That's how we will save this country. All right? Joining me now, somebody trying to actually save the country, someone who understands that blocking and tackling, not the sexy things, are what actually wins election, is my buddy, conservative activist and national spokesman for the Early Vote Action PAC, Scott Pressler, once again joining us. Scott, okay, Jacksonville. Jacksonville's not a Republican place. It's D+4, if I remember right. It's D+4, but still, we just lost Jacksonville yesterday, and our turnout was pathetic. I know it's not sexy, it's not Trump, and it's not DeSantis, and it's not a presidential election, but it's one of the last major cities where we had any power at all, and we just filtered it away and didn't even show up to vote. Why are we like this?
Well, it's a variety of things. I actually think voter registration is very sexy, Jesse. But look, we had a county, Jacksonville. I'm actually from Duval County. I was born in Neptune Beach. And it's sad to see that despite Republicans actually getting more registered voters by party to vote in the election, ultimately, we lost independent voters. And we had more independents vote for the opponent than we were able to get Republicans to vote for our candidate. And in part, it was a very bitter primary, and we had a lot of money that was spent against our ultimate nominee. And so it just shows you, y'all, it doesn't matter if it's Florida or South Dakota or Tennessee. We have to fight for every single election. And apathy is going to be our major hurdle going into the 2024 election. We have to treat every election as serious.
Scott, why do we have this apathy? You're on the ground all the time. You're registering voters by the dozen. You can't look. Every Republican complains. Everyone. I'm around normal Republicans, not activists, and all they do is complain when I'm around them. Biden sucks. The border's open. Crime sucks. This sucks. That sucks. And then I tell them, hey, we got a city council election. No response. No one shows up. How do we not make that connection?
You know, Jesse, I don't know how to answer that. I am working my tail off as a volunteer. I'm not even getting paid through my organization right now that I created. I want to make that very clear. This is a volunteer. And when people say to me, Scott, you know, the election is rigged, or why should I do something? You know, it's hard for me. I have to bite my tongue, but I respond back to them and say, many hands make light work. Or I encourage others to take action. The only way that I know how to lead is lead by example. And so what people can expect from Scott Pressler, from me moving forward, is I'm going to keep my head down. I'm going to register as many voters as I can as Republicans. I'm going to focus on early voting and an all of the above approach to voting. And I'm going to focus on legal and lawful ballot harvesting. In the state of Oregon, I've been working with pastors to set up unofficial drop boxes, which is legal in the state of Oregon, and it's already produced results. We had members of the congregation of the parish turn in ballots to the unofficial drop box, and then the pastor then took those ballots to the local elections office before the election on Tuesday, May 16th. So part of this is just informing the public of what we're able to do and encouraging and motivating them to do it. But y'all, if you were serious about making Joe Biden a one-term president, if you were serious about saving our country, my direct messages are open. Send me a message at Scott Pressler on Twitter. I would love to work with you to make sure that Joe Biden is a one-term president.
Gosh, I love that. Blocking and tackling. I love that. Tell me about Pennsylvania, Scott. I know you're spending a lot of time in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is critical if you want to win back the presidency, and we've clearly taken a beating there by the fact they have a head of broccoli as their senator now. Are we making headway there?
We're making progress. You know, in 2012 with President Obama, in November of 2012, the Democrats had an advantage of 1.1 million more Democrats registered than Republicans. Now, today in 2023, the Democrats only have an advantage of, we'll say, 467,000 more Ds than ours. So we've made a lot of progress at bringing down that Democratic advantage. Now, I'm currently at the Republican Committee of Allegheny County headquarters right at 100 Fleet Street in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Y'all, we need your help here in Southwest PA. During this trip, I'm doing 4 events in 4 days. I'm doing Allegheny, Westmoreland, Armstrong, and Beaver. And to give you an example, Beaver County, which is a Trump county that at the same time that it voted for Dr. Oz, voted for Democratic Governor Shapiro, is a county that's only 1,000 voter registrations away from flipping from Democrat to Republican. And it's my contention that with a little bit of sweat equity, a little bit of elbow grease, I believe in the next 5 years, we could make Southwest Pennsylvania ruby red Republican. And so to anybody in this area, please join Sam DeMarco, the chairman, join the Republican Committee of Allegheny County, and I need your help to bring down those voter registration numbers to make sure Pennsylvania helps elect a Republican president in 2024.
Lee, that is great news. Okay, the chasing down ballots, Scott, you've been all over this, and I love that. The GOP is, well, pathetic like they always are at actually trying to handle this problem, but you're working on it. Are we making headway there? Are we going to have a ballot track down operation that's even decent heading into the 2024 election?
Well, it's a little difficult to answer because I feel like right now, much of that work is resting on my shoulders, and I can only do so much as one. So I would love some help. And again, you can go to earlyvoteaction.com. But look, I am working with county parties, like I just said. Chairman Sam DeMarco, this is the second largest county outside of Philly in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I've offered my help, and he's listening to the grassroots. So there are chairmen and chairwomen that are working together. But it's going to take a lot of education. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful manner, but what I mean is when I went to Northwest Wisconsin, where they had 2 feet of snow on the ground going into Election Day, they told me, Scott, no one has offered this compelling message talking about early voting, mail-in voting, and the value of an all-of-the-above approach to voting. And so if we're going to be successful, a lot of it is talking to our voters. For example, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you're voting by mail, but you can go to your county elections office early and do in person a vote by mail. So if you don't trust drop boxes, or if you don't trust the United States Postal Service, but you want to vote early, there are ways and avenues that we can do so. And then y'all, you won't get a knock at your door. You won't get another text message. You won't get another email. You're going to be taken off the list so we can focus on low propensity voters and focus on the people that we need in order to win elections.
You like what you just saw? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. The First TV has a YouTube channel. It's outstanding. Go hit that subscribe button now.